San Diego. All occupants have been advised to run, hide, and all non-emergency response personnel are asked to stay away from the compound. That's all we have at the moment. There is an active shooter that's just been reported at a naval medical center in San Diego in the United States. We'll bring you more on that as it develops. In the meantime, Danish politicians have passed a bill allowing authorities to seize the valuables of asylum seekers in the country. Kenneth Christensen Burr is a member of Parliament for the Danish People's Party. He joins us now via Skype from Copenhagen. Good afternoon to you. Is this law fair?
Yes, I think this law is fair and square. The law is not only about jewelry, it also has to do with restricting immigrants' possibility of going back on their home country for vacation and a lot of other things. But the whole thing is a good law. It's a step forward for Denmark today.
What is the message that you want to send out internationally? Is it that people should not at all attempt to come to Denmark?
Our clear message today is that we do not want any more asylum seekers coming to Denmark, primarily because they are very, very difficult to integrate into Danish society. We have a big overrepresentation in criminality in Denmark. Among these people, we have a big proportion of these people being unemployed, as well as a rising tide of Islamism in our country. So yes, we are sending a clear message that we want fewer asylum seekers.
The expectation for this year for the number of asylum seekers, 20,000 I believe the figures are, that's compared to 15,000 last year. It's not that much of an increase. Some might say this is a little bit of an overreaction.
You have to remember that family reunification actually makes the figure coming to Denmark this year probably in the vicinity of 37,500, which is quite a lot. It's actually the size of a typical Danish municipality, which we have to deal with in 1 year. Denmark is a comparatively small country. We only have 5 million inhabitants. So having 37,500 coming in 1 year is actually quite a lot to deal with.
And you don't see the delay in reuniting families as perhaps causing more problems than it solves? From 1 year to 3, that's quite a leap.
No, as I spoke to the Minister of Integration today in Parliament, I asked whether or not these people were actually coming from Syria. And the Minister said, as I recall, that these people were primarily coming from Lebanon, from Turkey and from Jordan. So these people who are supposed to be family reunified, they are not in any kind of danger. They are staying in camps in the vicinity of Syria. So I can't see the problem. If these men want to join their women and children, why wouldn't they stay in these camps in Turkey, Jordan and Lebanon?
You say that it's a fair law, but the UN Refugee Agency, the UNHCR, they're warning that proposals violate the European Convention on Human Rights.
Well, our opinion is that it's more important, it was more important, in fact, to keep the inhabitants of Denmark safe and see to it that our children and grandchildren still have a country which they can call Denmark in a couple of generations. And that will not be the case if this mass influx of immigrants continue. So it's more important to have a Denmark in 50 or 100 years than to comply with international conventions.
The asylum seekers that are already in Denmark, haven't you somewhat pinpointed them as a problem? Don't you make it difficult for them to exist in your society, and you've basically highlighted them for the Danish population as a source of problems?
Well, I don't believe in telling untruths. I believe in telling the truth. And the truth is that we have major problems with integrating people from these areas. The same is the case all over Western Europe. So I don't think that you can just, by snapping your fingers, find a quick solution to how to integrate these people. So we have to know that the important thing here is to have as few people from third world countries coming to Denmark. And the people who will be coming should be people who are willing to accept the values and the democracy which we have in Denmark. And right now, that is not what we're seeing. At the same time, we're also seeing people who have fled their countries, but now tell us that they do not want to go from Zealand to Jutland, that they do not want the food that we have in this country, and now they're returning to their country. If they're unsatisfied with the food in this country, well, I find it very strange that they fled in the first place.
Okay, Kenneth Christensen, thank you very much for joining us from the Danish People's Party. Thank you. Let's take you live now to San Diego. This is the news that we broke a little earlier on, a few moments ago, about an active shooter at a San Diego military hospital. The facility actually broadcast this